Hey guys, Sparky here, and welcome to All About Tech Island. So today I will be talking about Tech Island from the Artificial Magical Island series. So let's switch to the view of the island itself. So here is Tech Island, and there was my phone going off from the notification. Um, so here is Tech Island. Um, and unlike normal, like here is just the island itself, but there's also, oh, sorry, I meant to switch to this tab. There's also, it's really hard to see here because it's very tiny pixels, but there's like a sandy overlay, like sand is swirling in the wind. So that's important to take note of for this island. Alright, so first up is the island biography. So this island was built under the living ocean by a magical and an ethereal. It was an island purely made of tech. One day, the island rose from the ocean. It is unknown where it came from, but sand swirls in the air, causing a very sandy environment. This is strange considering there is no wind to cause the sand to move throughout the air. Due to the mysterious sand, the island has been covered, leaving a sandy pillar, which is what we see here. So under these like layers of sand, there is just one big pillar made of technology, and a bit of the glow seeps through. Sorry for the aggressively loud mouse. Um, just see how things are going. Cool, everything looks good. Okay. So the elements of Tech Island are earth, water, cold, and tech. Also, something to note is tech here is short for technology. Um, so if we switch to, there we go, there it is. Here is the star rock for the island. For some reason, this image is not displaying as transparent, but it's supposed to be transparent. And it consists of a few technological-based symbols, and something interesting is it's like a bluey-green kind of glow that's coming from it. Sorry, we're going to hear a very interesting noise because my glasses need to be pushed up, and I'm wearing headphones, so it's going to slide against them. So just a warning. Okay. Alrighty, so what is up next? So the island's theme when it comes to design is deserts, specifically Egypt, but mainly just deserts in general. But this is sort of like a desert wasteland after um, after technology takes over was sort of the idea in my head when it came to the design. But it was mostly just based on Egypt. um, so the mood of the island is slightly mysterious, and like the sound of the song is based on like stereotypical desert themes in video games. Um, the theme for the designs of the monsters was um, that they all have technology enhancements or are made completely of technology, as well as the mood for the descriptions is mostly, although there are exceptions, antisocial monsters, which is exactly like Slime Island when it comes to that part. Alright, so on to the monsters. So first up we have Monstator, which is the element of tech. This is the single element of the island. Also, it's important to mention that the ethereal for this island is Rebro, which is mechanical or mech. Um, of course, the single element and the ethereal do have a connection. Okay, it It is rumored that the electronic exterior isn't the actual monster, but rather a shell that the real monster hides in to protect its skin. Perhaps, I'm gonna try that again. Perhaps its skin grows sensitive to the air. Wait, sorry. This is the first time I've like read this in a while. Um, it is rumored that the electronic exterior isn't the actual monster, but rather the shell that the real monster hides in to protect its skin. Perhaps its skin grows sensitive to the air as it grows up. Or perhaps the rumors are false. Um, so then next up is the Peritects, and these two have an eye for finding targets to battle. In a singing competition, that is. Um, these monsters are only. That's a grammatical error. The description says these monsters are only like to exist. I'm gonna correct myself here. These monsters only like to exist in places that give off a golden or sandy look. So not many monsters get to see, or not many monsters get to go up against a Pyrotech. Sorry for not doing too well with the reading here. I'm trying my best. um, Alrighty. So next up, oh, I haven't been. I forgot. I need to slow down with my talking here a bit. So Pyrotech's elements are earth and tech, and Clarinet's elements are water and tech. This monster attached itself to the island while it, the island, was being pulled out of the living ocean. In fact, fun fact about this monster, only half of its mustache can grow at one time. And that is a little Easter egg to when this little image of the monster only had one side of the mustache. I actually completely forgot about doing the other side, and I believe you can still see it in certain versions of Tech Island when it comes to the full song. So that's just something interesting to keep note of, or to take note of. It's a fun little reference. Alright, so next up is Bite. Cold and Tech. No matter what, no matter how one approaches Bite, it's always seen from one side. It's as if it's a sprite in a game or something. Bites themselves like to stay in packs and don't really like to socialize with other monsters. The others respect this. So that is it for the double element monsters. Alright, so next up is Vitible. Um, Although it could be argued that this monster's name is pronounced Vitible or Vitible. And Vitible's elements are earth, water, and tech. Alright. This monster loves to pull pranks, especially on couples. If it had a chance to meet up with schmoochels and hulas, they would be the best of friends. The monsters started calling um, Vitibot Vitible due to its pranks. Sorry, I like paused there. Um, they just didn't like being the punchline. So here it's sort of mentioned that this monster isn't really evil. It's just nicknamed that by the other monsters, or rather, its name isn't actually Vitible or Vitible, however you would like to pronounce it. Um, it's actually, what is it? Vidbitbot. Okay, Vidbitbot. I see. Sorry, I might have mispronounced it when I was reading the description, but this is the name that stuck with it, so that's what it goes by. That's a fun little backstory there. Next up is Kobo, one of my favorites on this island. And Kobo, like design-wise, and Kobo is made up of earth, cold, and tech. These monsters are very quiet and like to keep to themselves. They love mechanical work and admire the creation of Tech Island. Not a whole lot to say with that one. So next up is Robun. So something interesting here. A few people were like, it's like Funtime Freddy, but as a bunny. Or like Funtime Freddy and Bonbon swapped, basically. And this was not intentional, and I did not notice it until someone pointed it out. So I think that's kind of funny. Um, Kind of cool that I'm also a Five Nights at Freddy's fan. Also, something I just now noticed: these legs don't have the correct coloring. I mean, it's okay because it's in the background, but something interesting I just now noticed. Um, Also, I voiced this monster, and yeah, so that's under the description. Um, when it's not performing at parties with its partner, it's impressing other monsters with its magic tricks. These monsters live for magic. And the reason I say partners is because um, this monster species likes to enjoy pairing up with, I believe it's harmonics, if I'm not mistaken, that like to put on shows together. All right, and finally is Reave, the quad element, which has all the elements of the island, which are earth, water, cold, and tech. I'm not very happy with the design of this monster or Vitible, but Vitible, sorry. Um, it's it's very they're both very boring to me in my opinion. Of course, if you like the monster, that's perfectly fine. Um, okay, on to the description. This monster was this monster is more than it seems. It can create ink out of thin air. It can take the sounds from around it and play it in any way it wants. It can manipulate, twist, and glitch the world around it, but it just doesn't want to. It would rather just vibe with the other monsters. So, this is actually made of ink, and it's sort of a visual demonstration of when it slightly warps the world around it or replays sounds it has heard before, such as possibly being in contact with a quibble due to the reverse piano sound, and maybe a clamble as well. So, just a little bit of implications there. All right, so whoops, Agana was not selected here. There you go. So I pronounce this as iguana, but that sounds like an iguana, but it should actually be pronounced Agana or Ijana or Igana. So there's quite a few ways to pronounce it, but iguanas enjoy hanging out in groups. They claim a cactus when they're young and use it as their instrument. They also poke a hole in the cactus to drink from. Did you know that they like to also draw in the sand? The most mysterious drawing is of a half feline, half avian monster interacting with a feline creature with a fancy headdress of some sort. Mysterious. And this is a reference to some Egyptian mythology with uh, sphinxes and griffins. And I feel like the nicknames for this monster would be the nicknames of passed away pharaohs or historic pharaohs. So let's also show the element for this island. So here is the tech element, as well as the desert days element, which is the element that belongs to um, Agana. Okay, so moving on, the lyrics for this island go as follows. The future may seem like a scary place. Placed, oh my gosh, place. Sorry. Will we advance or be in an empty waste? How do we know the answers? How do we know what's true? How do we know when it's good to fully live it through? And that repeats. Technology advances, everyone takes their chances. But if we never change, who knows how long we have rain? And I'd like to clarify rain here is in the context of ruling. Like, how long will we rule the earth? And sort of the how do we know the answers? How do we know when it's how do we know what's true? that's a reference to information online, sort of, because some people just don't look into things, and sometimes things can be very convincing, and people just like to share some not true information online. So it's sort of a warning to look out for that. And like, if you don't know what to live by, if you don't know it's true, then how can you fully how can you fully go through with everything? Technology will advance. Basically, that's inevitable, is what this is saying. And you just sort of need to. I'm not quite sure how to describe what I mean by everyone takes their chances. Honestly, it's more of just a rhyming thing with advances. I think. Okay, yeah, I just reread the next lines. Reread the next lines. And it seems like I was implying that like everyone just takes their chances and sort of forgets about their privacy and doesn't think about how um, technology can sort of spy on them, I guess. Because yeah, that it kind of speaks for itself there what I said. But if we never change, who knows how long we have reign. That's just. Oops, sorry, I bumped my wall and I scared myself. Um, that's just a little reference to movies where sort of we build robots and stuff, and they end up taking over the Earth. Um, I doubt it's gonna get there. So, um, yeah, just a fun little reference there. All right, so on to the full song, and I shall mute myself for this. Oh, hello. Okay, let me just turn this up a tiny bit. Oops, that's my microphone. I don't want to turn that up. Okay, we're gonna turn that up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to mute while I play the full song.
Future may seem like a scary place. Will we advance or be an empty waste? How do we know the answers? How do we know what's true? How do we know when it's good to fully live it through. How do we know the answers? How do we know what's true? How do we know when it's good to fully live it through? Technology advances. Everyone takes their chances. But if we never change, who knows how long we are reign?
Alright, so that was the full song for Tech Island. Um, I don't believe there's anything else that needs to be said about Tech Island. I showed the concepts for everything, like the monsters and stuff, in the concept art video. And there's concept art. There's also some Tech Island rocks that were in there. Maybe that include them? Oh yeah, okay. Obstacles. Okay. So here you can see some of the. Oh, looks like only one Tech Island rock made it. um, Not quite sure what happened to the rest of them, but it's fine. It's just concept art anyway, or scrapped content rather. Um, so I hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the flashiness there. Wasn't planning on that. I hope you enjoyed this episode of All About the Artificial Magical Islands, and I'm not sure when I will do the next one, but I do appreciate you joining. Um, it's so interesting to listen back to the old stuff I made. Um, like, this was during a time, like, looking back on it, this isn't anything that, like, I'm embarrassed by. I'm like, oh, okay, this is something kind of cool I made. But like if I look back on like my seasonal islands, single pillars, single sanctuary, all that stuff, it's like maybe not so much. But um, enough with that little tangent there. Thank you so much for joining. Um, Again, I hope to see you in the future. Um, I don't say this a lot, but if you enjoyed, consider liking or subscribing. Um, yeah, I'm going to end this in about 20 seconds my time because of the stream delay. That way it doesn't just like suddenly cut me off in the middle of talking. So goodbye. Have a lovely day or night or whatever it is for you.